bringing the people behind our food to life.
This is just a chocolate cake. We'll be filling it with some vanilla buttercream. I always get more than I think I need. Step number one was deciding what I wanted to do, what I wanted the finished product to look like. I make little sketches with some things. Some things it's just, the cake's ideas could just come from my head. It is a creative expression. I get to bring out that creative side in me. I get to play with the cake and actually make something beautiful and fun. Then I need to put the cake in the walk-in for just a few minutes to let the icing harden up. Fondant is basically a sugar paste. To describe it as sugar, and there's some cornstarch and corn syrup in there, all kneaded together until you get a smooth, pliable dough. I want to stick it in the microwave for about 10 seconds or so, nothing too long. You don't want to melt it, because if you heat it up too much, then the fondant will melt. But just enough to kind of warm it up so it's much easier to work with. And that is much easier to work with. Okay. I started out with buttercream because that's kind of the basic decorating styles. And then the fondant, you can just have so much more fun with it. You're more flexible on the shapes you can do. Then I can add flavorings or colorings or anything that make it look prettier or taste better. It's like Play-Doh almost. You can do about anything with it. You can make little flowers and let them dry for a few days and then put them on cakes, or you can cover the entire cake with the fondant. The cake should be cool enough right now that I can frost it without the crumbs getting back into the frosting. So, looks good. The first cake I ever made, I definitely came from a box. I didn't make it from scratch. I had mixed it all up. I had one of those little electric beaters. And I set it on the counter, I didn't unplug it, and it fell to the floor and turned on, and cake batter was going everywhere. The cake turned out great, it was good, but a little messy in the process. Once you have the chilled finished cake, then you can roll out the fondant to about 1/4 inch thick, making sure that you use a lot of cornstarch underneath so it doesn't stick to the table or the rolling pin. Sometimes I just run my fingers around the edges just to kind of take off any sharp edges that the buttercream has formed. That way, the fondant won't tear quite as easily. Just picking it up and placing it over, and you have to work fairly fast, pulling out the fondant and smoothing it down. All the way down. I'm just cutting off the bulk of the extra fondant, and then I'll do the finish work once I move it to the turntable. And just cut off the extra. And then it's making sure you get all of your cakes all covered in fondant first before you start doing the decoration. You get the best response from people, from sugar, from desserts. You make somebody, you know, a roast or something, yeah, this is good, thank you. But if you make them a cake or a cookie or something sugary, usually you get a little bit more response, like, oh my God, this is great. And it's a little bit more of an ego boost, I guess. My style is more of a whimsical style. I enjoy making elegant cakes and beautiful cakes, but I also like to have something a little fun in there, something a little different, that it's not just the same looking cake that everybody is producing. Whether that's incorporating some fresh colors or a little flower, some polka dots, some stripes, something. I like to steer people towards choosing something a little bit more than the basic cake. The payoff is how I make people feel. I do want the person to enjoy them from start to finish. When they look at the cake, I want them to be pleased about how it looks, the presentation, the colors. That has to be visually pleasing, and then is that it has to taste good too. And I understand that it's going to be eaten, and that's okay. Okay, I think it's done. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I couldn't think of doing anything else.